God has plans to prosper you, give you hope and a future too. So let me remind you of what you have the power to do.
You've been on a journey, trying to find your way. Like the sun, you're rising, 'cause today's your day to unlock every gift inside. Let your potential flow. Don't let anybody kill your vibe. Time to bust up and show. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Act like you know you can win. Live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra. They said you'd never make it, but you're still here. Kept on pushing through all your doubts and fears. Never let a hater see you sweat. Remember who you are. When they go low, let them reap what they sow while you go far. Gotta keep on reaching, keep believing. Baby, shine like a star. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra. If you got haters, they gon' hate. Keep your head up and just be great. It's your season, your winning season with Cassandra. Rise up, time to get on your grind. Go after your dreams, no time to fall behind. Push till the end and never give in. It's your winning season, get ready to win. Keep moving forward and never look back. It's time to get motivated with Cassandra Mack. You can win, live your dreams, reach your goals. Be happy, you can make it. Get motivated with Cassandra Mack. We've got wellness, church by phone. You don't even have to leave your home to be inspired. To rise a little higher with Cassandra Mack.
Welcome to the Cassandra Mack channel, a channel dedicated to providing biblical wisdom and upliftment to those who want to be part of this community. So you know this up front, comments that are divisive, disrespectful, or deliberately contrary to the teaching shared here will be deleted and the person will be blocked. Understand that I post as I'm led by the Lord. I do not post for anyone's approval or validation. Therefore, I will not be swayed by those who come in bad faith to troll or who come with a disruptive agenda. If you find that this channel doesn't align with you, that's perfectly okay. If you are offended by my rules, my directness, or my delivery, that's okay also. I encourage you to find the YouTube channel that's a better fit, since obviously we're not it. And if you choose to unsubscribe, no need to announce your departure. We are not the airlines. At any time, you can simply choose not to get on board. To everyone else, thank you for being here. Let's continue to grow together. God bless you. When a person is deeply invested in misunderstanding you, you're rarely going to get an admission of guilt from them, no matter how badly they've wronged you. Why does that happen? That's what we're talking about today. Today's video is being brought to you by my book, Simple Prayers for Spiritual Warfare. This is a tactical, practical guide of Bible-based prayers to help you stand firm in your power and authority when you are dealing with spiritual warfare in any area, whether it is financial, health, warfare of the mind, sleep warfare, warfare of haters and enemies coming against you. Also included in the book is a spiritual warfare assessment guide to help you gauge if what you're dealing with, the obstacle, the problem that's persistent, has a spiritual warfare element to it. The link is in the video description box for those who want to find out more. So if you've ever been in a situation where you were trying to share your heart with someone who deeply hurt you, deeply wronged you, did something that really almost knocked the wind out of your sails, so to speak. And when you tried to have a conversation, you didn't come loud, you didn't come yelling. And when you tried to have a conversation with them, they kept telling you they didn't understand, or some variation of the theme where they were communicating that they didn't understand. And not only did they tell you they didn't understand, but they kept gaslighting you. And you found that the more you tried to explain yourself, the more examples that you gave them, it didn't make one bit of a difference. And so why does this happen? So let's look at when someone is committed, they're deeply invested. It's not a true misunderstanding. They just don't want to understand. They're deeply invested in not wanting to see, especially when they have caused you harm. And so this can be a parent who was abusive towards you, and maybe it is decades later. You were 10 at the time. Now you're in your 40s, and all of a sudden everybody has selective amnesia. Maybe it is a sibling. You all have siblings, and you were always treated as the odd person out, like you're really not real family since you don't share both parents, you only share one. And maybe you have other siblings where they share both parents, but you share one parent. And when you speak about your feelings of being treated differently, everybody got amnesia. Now, we know it goes without saying that people can grow up in the same household and experience things differently. But there's a difference between having different experiences and what you actually witness, right? So here's an example to make it plain as day. You're in your household growing up as a child. You have a parent who slaps you across the face for whatever reason, right? At the time you're 12, the parent slaps you and slaps you again. You have a sibling, they weren't slapped by the parent, but they witnessed it. They were sitting right there when the parent slapped you. And let's say you were 10 or 11 and your sibling was 12. So they're not like two where it's like they don't remember. And so clear as day, they witnessed the same slap that you witnessed. If your mother was there, she witnessed the same slap. If it was your mother slapping you, your father witnessed it. Whoever was there, they witnessed it. Yet when you bring it up, everybody got selective amnesia, and all of a sudden nobody understands what you're talking about. And that can be extremely frustrating when you are on a path where you are really trying to heal your life. And for those of you who are doing the Soul Fast workbook with us, we're on the section where we're dealing with emotions. And you may find that a lot of emotions that you thought you kind of put them in the back burner, that they're resurfacing, that you might have thought you healed from, they're coming up as you're doing the workbook. And a lot of times when very intense emotions are surfacing, it's God's way of letting us know that there are areas of our life, emotionally, heart areas, that need mending and tending, and that you have the power, believe it or not, you have the power to be able to address it. You have the capacity, no matter how scary those emotions may feel, to be able to heal your life. And God is letting you know that you are stronger than you realize, and you are braver than you know. So let's look at why sometimes when something is clear as day, a person is committed to misunderstanding you. I'm going to give you a couple of reasons, and maybe this will just help you to not feel like you're going insane when you know you're being clear as day. One is to be able to say that you're the problem, to successfully scapegoat you and cast you as the bad guy in the narrative, and limit the profound effect of their actions. And so when they say that they don't understand how you can be so ungrateful and judgmental, let's say that's what they say, and you're like, huh? What are you talking about? This is the way to make the problem about your ingratitude and your judgmental attitude. I'm not saying you have it. I'm saying that's the thinking behind it. So what they're trying to do is make what they are saying is the ingratitude or the judgmental attitude the primary problem, when you might be coming to that older sibling because they physically bullied you chronically. And they're like, well, just be happy that I made you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And you're like, what does that have to do with the bruises you left on me? And so this allows them to avoid accountability, and not just avoid accountability, that's bad enough, but paint you as the bad guy in the narrative, like, how dare you bring this up? Which brings us to number 2, to avoid accountability. So when someone is genuinely trying to understand where you're coming from because they care about you, so there has to be a base level of care and concern. So when someone genuinely cares about you, cares about your feelings, and they're not self-absorbed, right? They're going to be willing to look at how their actions may have affected you, just as you would do the same, hopefully, if someone came to you and let you know that your actions hurt them, right? Because we can't expect from others what we're not willing to give. And so if they see through the pain that you are expressing that they've caused you hurt or harm, a person who really wants to have a relationship with you based on care, concern, consideration, and they truly care about you, even if it's hard to hear, they're going to take some responsibility for their part in it. But when a person wants to completely avoid accountability, it is easier to build a wall of misunderstanding and to tell you that you took things the wrong way, rather than fully owning the harm they caused, if they have caused you harm. These are the people that apologize by saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. And you know that I have made videos that is not an apology, because you cannot apologize for how somebody feels. You can only apologize for your actions, the things we say and do, but we cannot own the emotional space or the mental space, the space of the soul that another human being resides in. So when somebody says, I'm sorry you feel that way, that is not a genuine apology, as opposed to, I'm sorry that what I said hurt you. I'm sorry that when I called you X, Y, and Z, you can insert the insult, that I hurt your feelings. That was insensitive of me. I apologize for X, Y, and Z. That's very different. That's full accountability, or at least the start, the seeding of the accountability, right? Because it's not just the words, I'm sorry, it's also a commitment to change your ways that are harmful and hurtful to that person, if you value them in your life. So a lot of times when a person is evading accountability, they're going to lean into, they don't really understand that you misinterpreted, that you got things mixed up. And you're like, no, I'm not confusing anything. I'm not confused. So this is a big one. Do not allow yourself to be gaslit. So even when someone is gaslighting you, right, because we can't control what comes out of another human being's mouth, but what you can control is what you choose to accept as reality. So a person can tell a lie and promote the lie as the truth and try to feed you the lie. You can't change that. That's their behavior. But what you can do on your end is you can be firm. No matter what you say, no matter how many times you spin it, I stand firm in the fact that this happened. And then you can name the thing that happened. And nothing you say or do is going to change my mind about the facts of the situation. See, sometimes you have to learn to be unwavering so that a person knows that you cannot be played with in that way. It doesn't mean that they're going to change, because a lot of people get stuck in changing other people. You cannot override somebody's free will. But what it does for you is it doesn't allow you to be gaslit, meaning it doesn't allow the gaslighting tactic that they're using against you to work on you. So they're still going to use it, right? It's like a liar. A liar's going to lie, but it's your choice to not believe them and not treat them with trustworthiness. Doesn't mean you're mean, but it does mean that you are adjusting your behavior based on the reality of the fruit that's being displayed to you, right? So a person may still lie, and they may double down on their lie. You can't make them not lie. You can't go on their tongue and make them tell the truth. But what you can do is choose not to accept, believe, and converse about the lie. So you can stand your ground. 3, another reason why someone is committed to misunderstanding you, to invalidate your feelings and reality. And so this is what the world calls gaslighting. So by consistently misunderstanding you, especially when you're dealing with someone who is narcissistic, the world calls it narcissistic. The Bible talks about it in terms of those who are lovers of themselves. It is the same principle, worded differently. So when someone is operating from a narcissistic space, right, they're trying to gain supply. And so when they're trying to gain supply by the things that they do to drain your emotional energy, they're going to be committed to misunderstanding you because they are not going to want to admit that they're self-absorbed. So by telling you that your interpretation is wrong, it makes you think that you're crazy. It really is a tactic to exhaust you. When someone wants you to drop the subject, so to speak, and leave something alone, but you know it's true and you got the receipts to prove it, a lot of times they will exhaust you with lie after lie after lie after lie, causing you to eventually give up trying to be heard. So do know that that is a tactic. Again, you cannot make someone not use the gaslighting tactic, but what you can do that empowers you and is fully in your power, you can choose not to fall for it. And so this is when you don't continue going back and forth with the person. You state your piece one time, and whatever they have to say after that is null and void because your position is firm and it's fixed. And so it may sound like no matter how many ways you try to wiggle out of what I know to be true, A, B, and C happen. And no matter what you say after that, I don't receive or believe it. Well, you know what? That's why nobody like you when you petty. It doesn't change the fact that I don't receive it or believe it. Well, I'm just saying that's why nobody could talk to you about anything. Look at how you are. You are so crazy. You called me all the names in the book. But it doesn't change the fact that I don't receive it or believe it. So do you see how no matter what they say, you are not wavering? Because there's a stillness that comes from God flowing through you that will make you immovable and your spirit won't be moved. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you about it. I'm not going to have this conversation 99 times. Fourthly is to maintain control. And so one of the ways that a person who is a controlling spirit tries to maintain control is by keeping the focus on you misinterpreting or misunderstanding them when you understood clearly. You could show them the text messages, you could show them the video footage, and they will still say, well, the video doesn't capture the whole story. The text doesn't capture what was going on in my mind. It just captures the words I said. You're like, that's what we're talking about. See, that'll frustrate you because it'll get you to keep re-explaining yourself while they remain in the powerful position of the judge and jury who decides whether your explanation is fully and finally good enough. And you got to get to the point where I don't have to keep explaining myself to you. This is my stance. Well, I don't believe it. Then I guess you don't believe it. It doesn't change that this is my stance. And when you become unwavering, when you refuse to move, it makes people uncomfortable because people realize people don't like people they cannot control. People cannot stand people that they can't control. They can't pull the wool over their eyes. And so they may never admit they're wrong. And sometimes you can say it for them. I know that you're never going to admit that you were wrong and that you did this, but I know that you did A, B, and C, and nothing is going to change my mind. See, once you're in that space, it's nothing more to be said. So they say something back. Well, that's why you're so crazy. You go on about your day. You go on about your day. Think what you want to think. Say what you want to say. Think what you want to think. Say what you want to say. See, when you're in that space, it's very hard because you are like a rock. And it's very hard for a person to move you emotionally. Even with name calling, you cannot be moved. Well, that's why you're so ugly. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Don't look at me. Close your eyes. So it's like no matter what they say, well, that's why nobody like you. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I guess if nobody liked me and you're included in the nobody that likes me, you wouldn't want to continue a conversation, right? That's the definition of insanity. They're going to lose it and get mad. So when you are in a space where, and we're not talking about when you are having a normal, rational conversation. When I'm giving you these tips, understand that these tips are for individuals who are operating from controlling spirits, narcissistic spirits, domineering spirits, disrespectful spirits. I'm not talking about a rational, level-headed conversation between two people. That's not what these strategies are for. This is for the liars in your life, the controlling people in your life, the narcissistic people in your life, the people at your job who will steal your work and try to pass it off as their own. So we're talking about extreme personalities here because this is what causes so many people stress. We're not talking about your minor children. We are talking about adults. So I always like to clarify who these strategies are for. So here's the thing. This is what it means for you. Understanding the dynamic of the individual who's committed to misunderstanding you, that's only the first step. There's multiple steps, and I'll give you a few here. Number one, you got to stop seeking their validation. And you might not look as trying to get them to apologize is seeking their validation. But once you have explained and expressed how you feel with all sincerity from your heart, with grace, and they take that and stomp all over it and wipe their feet, at some point you have to stop looking for the apology if it's clear that they're not going to give it to you, because then they hold the power, because there's something you need from them. But when you get to the point where you're like, I need nothing from you because I'm self-contained by way of God, everything else is icing on the cake. And this is the most powerful shift you can make, to stop hoping that one day they'll finally say you're right. Now, I'm not saying you don't desire it. And if it happens, that's beautiful. Absolutely. But there's a difference between desiring something and feeling like you can't live without it. That's the space you have to separate. So you may desire, it would be nice if they would apologize. It would be nice if they don't always have to have the last word. It would be nice if they could admit that I'm right and they're wrong. It would be nice. The adult thing to do is to say, I'm sorry. But there are certain personalities that you could hope all day, every day, and they're not changing. So what are you going to do in those instances? For your own mental health, for your own emotional well-being, for your own stability, your own peace, your own joy. Because at the end of the day, you got you. At the end of the day, you got you. You got to make sure you're good with you. And so if the day never comes where you hear the apology, if the day never comes where they finally understand, what are you going to do in the meantime so that you're not operating on level 10 stress all day, every day? You got to be good with you. You got to take care of you. Self-preservation is the first law of nature. 2, trust your own reality. You know what happened. You know the truth. You know. Hold on to that. Their denial of your reality doesn't make it any less real. It just means they don't want to be accountable. So make that distinction so that you don't allow somebody to get inside your head and make you believe that you don't know what you're talking about. 3, at some point you got to move from constant conversation about the same issue over and over and over and over again with the person who's committed to misunderstanding you and will not understand you. You got to move from those type of conversations to setting your internal boundaries. And so instead of trying to force an apology or an admission of guilt, what are your boundaries? What are your boundaries going to be with that person? What are your new boundaries? And so what is that going to look like? Is it reducing the time you spend with the person? What does that look like? Is it changing the goal? Meaning moving from aiming to be understood to aiming for respect. You ain't got to understand me, but you can't talk to me crazy. And if you do, I will end the conversation with you. I just will refuse to answer you. So what's the shift going to be for your own well-being? Now, I want to give you some scriptures that will really cement this for you. Proverbs 26:4. This is when a person is committed to misunderstanding you. And on top of that, they're telling you all kind of foolery to gaslight you, guilt trip you, and game play you. And you find yourself falling for it over and over again, allowing them to twist your wig, pulling you into all kind of nonsensical conversations where your blood pressure's going up, you're stressed, you're about to put yourself in the hospital. I want you to practice Proverbs 26:4. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. That's not my words. That's actually what the scripture says. It says, do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. So once you determine you're dealing with a fool, this person's a fool. A fool means somebody who lacks wisdom. When a person is arrogant and there's no humility in them, that's a form of being a fool. Now, some people may take your godly confidence for arrogance. That's their problem. That's their problem. And remember, people don't like people who they can't control, who they can't humiliate, who they can't make them stay in their place, so to speak. People don't like people like that. That's not your problem, nor is that your issue. So this verse is incredibly practical for anyone dealing with someone who's committed to misunderstanding them. I mean, they fully committed, deeply invested. See, a fool isn't necessarily someone who has a low IQ, but it is someone who is stubborn, willfully ignorant. When a person is committed to misunderstanding you, that's willful ignorance. A person who is so arrogant that they can never be wrong. They can never apologize. Who among us is never wrong? We all fall short of the glory, myself included. This is a person who rejects wisdom. And so you got to determine, am I dealing with a fool? So I cannot answer him according to his folly. Now look, what this scripture is no joke. Do not answer a fool according to his folly. So when someone is gaslighting you, they're trying to alter your reality. What is that? That's the form of folly, believe it or not. So once you answer that individual according to the reconstructed, realtered, reimagined narrative that they're giving you about what happened to you, that's their folly. So you can't answer them according to their folly. You have to stick to what you know, not their folly, which is the gaslighting, the guilt tripping, and the game playing. Don't engage with them on their terms. That's what that means. If they're twisting your words, don't take the bait of endlessly trying to re-explain and over-explain yourself, because you see that they're twisting your words. If they're moving the goalposts, don't keep doing backflips to meet the goal. You're on a crooked playing field. That's their folly. Don't answer them according to their folly. And look what the scripture says, or you will be just like them. And so it warns us that if we get pulled into their game of constant back and forth and over explaining and defending ourselves endlessly and needlessly, we're going to be frustrated and we're going to end up acting just as foolish. And this is when we start yelling, cussing, getting overly emotional, coming out of character, throwing things, crashing out, because we're so frustrated, because we've answered a fool according to their folly rather than according to God's wisdom. Now here's the other piece. Proverbs 18:2 says, fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. So this just answers the question. When someone's committed to misunderstanding you, it already lets you know in Proverbs 18:2, it says, fools find no pleasure. They don't want to understand and understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. And so this is the person that they don't want to understand you. And no matter how much evidence you give them, they're simply going to say, well, I don't see it that way. And I don't see it that way. And I don't see it that way. And yes, I know that you have the text with me calling you a disgusting beast. But really, I'm trying to help you by calling you a disgusting beast. And if you can't see how that is helpful, that's motivation that I called you. And you're like, what is wrong with you? Are you nuts? See, understand that their goal is not to grasp your perspective and to see where they have caused harm or hurt. It is to only dominate by expressing their opinion and their opinion alone. A conversation is two-way. A dialogue is one-way. And so, last but not least, I hope this one offers you some comfort. Remember to guard your heart. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. When you're dealing with someone who's committed to misunderstanding you, you got to protect your peace. That's part of your heart. You got to protect your peace. You got to protect your joy. You got to protect your sanity. That's part of God in your heart. This is a direct strategy that you can use for those type of interactions when the other person is committed to misunderstanding you. And if you want to dive deeper into just how to know how to read people more clearly, I have a workshop coming up called Read People Like a Book. And the date is in the video description box. The link is there, so you'll see the date and the link. And it is also pinned as a comment. And in this workshop, you're going to get a digital workbook that comes to you as a PDF that you can download and print. And we're going to be walking through how do you discern and decode who you're really dealing with. How do you begin to read the room and read the people in the room more accurately, more clearly? How do you begin to really discern what's going on beneath the surface? And so we're going to be diving into that in this particular workshop. It's happening on Zoom. Tickets are sold through Eventbrite for those who are interested in getting a ticket. And no matter where you are, you'll be able to attend because it's happening by Zoom. So the link is in the video description box. And I would also encourage you to become a member of the Wellness Club if you're not a member of the Wellness Club. The Wellness Club is where you gain access to a conference call. It's live. That happens the first and third Wednesday, typically, of every month. And we focus on mental self-care, emotional well-being through a biblical lens. And it's way cheaper than therapy. And it's therapeutic. It's a group coaching call. Not only you're speaking with me live on the conference call, more importantly, you have an opportunity to come up and share what's on your heart relative to the topic on that day and hear from other Wellness Club members as they share what's on their heart. So for those who are interested, you'll see the link to my channel membership in the video description box. Make sure to join at the Wellness Club tier if what you want is access to the call. We have 3 awesome tiers of membership. So shout out and thank you to our channel supporters. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you. Shout out to the Blessed Life Club. That's where you get the official recordings of Church by Phone, along with the recap and run with it. The live Church by Phone service is always free, always open to the public. Our live Church by Phone service, Sundays at 9 a.m. But sometimes you want to revisit those sermons. That happens through the Blessed Life Club. And if you want the Wellness Call, again, make sure to join at the Wellness Club tier of membership. Some people will join at the channel supporters and then they ask why can't they access the Wellness Club because you didn't join at the Wellness Club tier. So make sure that you're reading the information in detail so that you're joining at the correct tier for the features that you want. With that being said, have a blessed day. Take care of yourself. Let's do our best to be kind, but let's take our common sense with us. God bless.